It's time for Quarantine Cabaret Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessick.
I have a carpet and I have the parrot.
Where do you get your props? We have no budget for props.
We have no budget at all.
Who is authorizing props?
This poor bird.
I still want to know who paid for the funnel cake from 2 weeks ago.
There's always money for a funnel cake, Lee.
Yeah. Speaking of cakes, I'm waiting for my cheesecake.
Okay. This poor bird is in sad shape. I had the cheesecake, and now we can really talk. It was delivered.
Was it good? But I think I ordered the wrong kind. I got like Oreo.
Oh, I got red, white, and blueberry. Strawberries, blueberry. If you don't know, Frozen was on, and this man makes cheesecakes for Broadway casts, and he delivered one to my house from Philadelphia.
Wow.
My brother.
And he's shipping one to me.
Now, my brother said to me, you should not accept cheesecakes from strangers.
Your brother is also a policeman.
Yeah, so he's a little...
Just so everybody knows. He has to say that.
So I just want you to know that I ate the cheesecake and I'm alive and well. And it's 4 Brat's cheesecake in Jersey, close to Philly. He's wonderful. Wait till you taste this cheesecake.
He doesn't like have a shop or anything. He just does this out of like the goodness of his heart.
He owns a pizzeria though.
It's what?
He owns a pizzeria.
And do they serve the cheesecake there?
They do.
Because there's none, I love nothing more than a good hearty cheesecake after my pepperoni pizza.
Well, they're $30 and he'll mail one to you, and you could look up 4 Brat's Pizzeria, and he has a whole sorts of types.
Wow.
Yeah. Hi, Lee. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you feeling?
I feel much better. I got my stitches out yesterday. For those of you that don't know, I had like a cyst in the knuckle of my thumb, of all things. And so they did surgery 2 weeks ago, and I got the stitches out yesterday, which really hurt. And it looks much better today. It's still really swollen and I can't bend it much, but they said they got everything out that they needed. But worse than my thumb is that the night after I had this surgery on my thumb, I had a fight, an altercation with the leg of the sofa, and the sofa won, and I broke 2 toes. So I'm like hobbling around. It is awful, and you can't do anything when you break toes except like tape them together. And in a pandemic, who has time for tape? So I'm not even doing that.
Falling apart, Lee. I hope you feel better. And I know it's Mark's birthday this week. Happy birthday, Mark. Wishing you the best birthday on Saturday. I
will pass that on. I'm sure he's not watching live.
I went to the movies yesterday.
I know. You went to a screening, like a premiere.
And I saw a movie that I'm not allowed to talk about because I had to sign an NDA. And there was 4 people there. And I signed an NDA. And it was wonderful. And I can't wait to talk to you about it.
So we're not even going to mention the title? Can I? Because I didn't sign anything. Is that allowed? Please. Or is that not kosher?
No, go ahead.
He went to see a screening of, I think it's called Respect. It's the Aretha Franklin biopic movie that Jennifer Hudson is starring in. I can see backstage, and Telly Leung, literally his jaw has dropped. And he said she was crazy, off the charts, amazing.
I didn't say that. Lee said that. I signed it.
You said that. Oh, no, he didn't. I said that.
Maybe I said that. It was...
Can you imagine, like, you sign this NDA? Can you imagine, like,
they took my phone?
Can you imagine if, like, someone like sees this and then like comes knocking at your door with like,
I'm sued for $1 million. They took my phone and they put it in a little bag, and I wasn't allowed to have my iWatch.
Wow. At the very, very, very beginning of this quarantine, a friend of ours was one of the producers on The United States versus Billie Holiday, which is coming out, and Andra Day plays Billie Holiday. And so she asked us if we would go to a screening, but literally it was us, period. That's it. And that was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah. So,
you know what else is neat?
what?
We have a double dose of Aladdin here tonight.
I know. I'm so excited.
Adam is back. Adam was here on our.
Adam was like on our second show.
Yep.
Second or third show, I think it was.
Yep.
Way back, like in April of 2020. Do you remember that? That was a good month.
I do. And it was when it was just me and you and our mothers watching.
I know. We didn't even have like opening credits or anything.
Nope. So thanks.
We've really come a long way. It's week 26.
26 weeks here together. And
26 weeks since I've left the house. Just putting it in perspective.
Next week, Lee is super excited. He put together a hell of a show for us all next week.
Oh my God. You know, I have learned like during this time that you should just ask for whatever you want because you might get it. And so I, wake up and I think of things. So last year, I think it was who can remember? Because it's all a blur. But last year, I was in London doing some concerts, and a friend of mine who's a publicist, does a lot of West End shows. I texted him to make a date for lunch, and I said, what should I see? I literally have one free day. And he said, you have to see Six, which is this super fun musical about the 6 wives of Henry VIII that reunite as a girl pop band. And so I was like, sure. So I got a ticket. It was like not even on the West End. It was like off West End. I don't know what they call that, but and I downloaded the soundtrack so I could like listen up. And I loved this music. It's so catchy and fun. It's literally 70 minutes, maybe like 72 minutes.
I love that.
Which is like totally my attention span for sitting through anything. And I had so much fun. My face hurt from smiling so hard. The cast was incredible. The audience went crazy. They're so smart in how they are marketing this. Like they're really letting the audience kind of market for them because the show ends, but they need to fill 5 more minutes, which they admit to. And so they literally just do like a replay of the best of each song.
Perfect.
Like a mix. What is that? A remix.
Yes.
And they tell you that you can film it and post it and tag them. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And so I reached out to this publicist friend of mine who was the publicist for Six. And I said, I want to have them on the show, the songwriters. And so anyway, he put me in touch and they are coming on Thursday of next week. I am super excited. From London. They wrote this show in college. I think it's the first thing they've written, and they're kids. And the show took off. There was it opened in Chicago then. They did like a North American, like a mini tour, I think, like maybe like Minnesota and Canada. And then it was in previews on Broadway when everything shut down.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. So they're doing the first half of the show. And then we have our dear friend Megan Hilty and her super talented husband, Brian Gallagher, who just released an album. And they're going to be on. So
that's a show.
We're into October. Can you believe it? Yeah. I'm excited.
So thank you. If you are commenting, we just want to let you know that we can't respond to them, but we see them all. So we see you asking questions and we see you super excited that Adam and Telly, and we may have a couple surprises up our sleeve. So thank you for all your comments, and we see them all. And we just want to say thank you for being a part of this show every single week.
There you go. Okay. So I'm very excited. So I'm going to be honest with you. We have learned over the weeks to like just go with the flow because, we're in a pandemic and you never know what's going to happen. And so originally this week, I had scheduled Leia Salonga, who is, I've been working with for several years. I distribute her albums. I executive produced her last album, which is stunning.
Me too.
I book a lot of dates for her, her concert tours, and I just love her. She's great. And she lives in Manila. And so we would have to pre-tape. So we were going to do that. And then because her last Broadway show was Allegiance, I asked Telly Leung if he would come on as well. So that was going to be our show. Well, Leia had a death in the family and we had to reschedule her appearance. And so I called Telly and I was like, what do you want to do? And he said, you know what I think would be like super fun is to have an Aladdin reunion. And so that's what we put together today. And our first two guests are Telly and Arielle Jacobs. Adam originated the role on Broadway, and Telly, I think, ran for, I'm going to say 2 years, but I could be wrong. I have no sense of time, but he'll tell me when he gets here. So I just want to show a little sizzle of the boys.
Hi, my name is Aladdin. Hi, Aladdin.
One jump ahead of the red line, one swing ahead of the sword. I steal only what I can afford, and that's everything. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last to let your heart decide? Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you sweet understanding. Seymour's your
So much that we might share,
and you finally learn you don't come out of thin air. Bring it in.
I really wanna thank you, Lord. It's around. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for all of your love. I wanna thank you. Thank you for love. Thank you for love. Thank you for love.
Of a far-off place where a hero's welcome will be waiting for me, and the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I'll be there someday. I will go the distance. I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong.
Heck is
That is my favorite. That's my favorite song that you sing.
what?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Here.
I don't know what happened.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey,
Well, apparently,
Telly.
Being Alive wanted to play during Adam, and Adam
You're
wanted to
muted.
play during Telly's. And welcome to our messy show.
Telly, you're muted. You're muted.
Oh, am I on now?
There you go.
Yes,
Can
yes,
you-
yes, yes.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
I
now?
can.
We are
I can. Yes, I
here.
can.
Adam,
I
you
like
have quite
that.
the display back there. I love that back there. My gosh.
I like your go the distance version there. That was cool.
Oh yeah,
like that.
I do that. I do that, and actually, if you kept playing, it's a mashup into Mariah Carey's Hero, just because.
Oh my god.
It actually
Of course
matches
it
right.
is.
Yeah.
You.
It's good to see
Yeah.
you.
Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
How are you guys doing? Adam, you were on one of our very first broadcasts like
Yeah.
months ago. How's it going? How's the home camp and homeschooling?
You know,
and
we're doing it. We're doing it. The
Yeah.
boys, yeah, my I got my 6-year-old twin boys, Jack and Alex, and they're in first grade, and this is the first week where they're actually going the full week in person. Even though with Yom Kippur it's only 4 days, but they're doing great. You know, they're social distance, of course, and all the proper precautions. But it's just nice to have them out of the house for a little bit, and it seems like they're taking to it. So I'm happy about that.
Good.
Yeah.
That must be such a dual challenge, because starting first grade is a big deal. That's huge, and to start it in this moment in time is kind of nuts.
The good thing, at least, they don't really have anything to compare it to. Like a lot of these older kids, they're like, it's not the same as how they've always known school to be. But,
right.
At least we don't have to deal with that with the first graders. So they're kind of like, okay, I guess this is school. So, so it's good.
And Telly, you traveled. You did a quarantine concert.
You did two of them. You did two of them, right?
Actually, my music director, who was in that clip with me, he has connections to Ann Arbor in Michigan, and some Broadway folks, Dan Cooney and Jessica Grove, they started a little music theater company out in Dexter, Michigan. And it's a small theater, but they have a giant parking lot. So they converted their season they canceled all of their book shows, and they were like, let's just do a season of Broadway, singers coming to do concerts in their parking lot. And everybody just sat distanced and picnicked at night. And it actually was really, really beautiful. It was really fun. And then I was in Columbus, Indiana as well, doing a show, and that was really, really great. And I have family that's in Indianapolis, in the Indianapolis area, so it was sort of also nice to be able to see some family.
That's awesome. Well, I was telling Lee today, I spent the whole day at work listening to your albums, both of your albums, and talk about Go to the Distance. Adam's version is beautiful. Telly's version is beautiful. I was telling Telly before the show that he does all these fun mashups of songs. I told Adam the last show his version of Out There is the bar none the best ever.
Oh, thank you.
I love I love Adam's the one jump where it's like he's all the people.
Yeah,
that's my fave. It's such a great album, my friend. And
thank you.
What I also love is that Michael Cosrin worked on that with you. Yeah,
he did briefly, and then. Yeah, he did like 1 or 2 numbers to help out with it, but it was mostly Jim Abbott who arranged. He did pretty much all the arrangements, and it was that one jump was very zany, and I had all these thoughts, and Jim Abbott was the one who put pen to paper and make it come alive. So
now, Adam, for you, Aladdin was your Broadway debut, right?
Sorry.
Was Aladdin your Broadway debut?
Me? No. Marius in Les Mis was my Broadway debut. Then
you did that
Simba.
first. Okay.
And then Simba, and then Aladdin. Yeah.
Got it. I don't know why I thought that was your Broadway debut. I knew you had done Simba, but for some reason I thought that was on tour. Well, got it. So what is it? What you had already done like a Disney musical, which from what I hear, I've never done one, but from what I hear, it's very different. It's a very different, process.
It is.
And how was it opening this show?
It was crazy. With being part of the Disney machine, there's a lot of cooks and a lot of people you need to please, and they have to check the boxes. Disney Records, Disney Animation, Disney, like all the different people, all the way up to the CEO, Bob Iger himself, had to come and watch us and approve of what was happening. So there was a lot of pressure, from the very beginning. But you kind of just, you just did your thing. And luckily we had a great director, Casey Nicola, who kept it very kind of fun and light. And, he was the one who trusted all of us from those initial readings and kept us all, which is pretty much unheard of, all of the principals to then go and open the show. And it was, an amazing experience. I got so spoiled being able to originate a character that I loved, not only just at a Disney character, but a Disney character that was like, right up there, number one character. Between Simba and Aladdin, I've been so spoiled to play like my favorite characters from the Disney anthology, Disney canon. So,
Right.
it was just a crazy experience, and I still think about it all the time, just how lucky I am that all of this kind of came together, at the right time. So much of it is timing in this business, and had I been just a few years older, probably wouldn't have worked out. Because right, Telly?
Old Laddins. You're talking to the old Laddins here.
That's right. That's right. So I'm just happy. I'm grateful. Just grateful.
Yeah. How long did you stay with the show?
I did it for it was the whole process was about 7 years to get it to Broadway.
Wow.
From first readings in 2010 to, my whole journey was about 7 years. So 2010 first readings to 2014 opening, and the out of town tryouts in between. So I did it on Broadway for about 2 years, and then a year on the road, and that was it. I shuttered it in Los Angeles. The tour's still going, or not now, but it's still scheduled to go. And I left after Los Angeles. Yeah.
So you toured after Broadway?
I did. Which is not very common. One of the big reasons was because the show was going to be in Chicago for 7 months, and my wife and I have talked about moving to Chicago, where I am now, moving here because we love the city and her family's close, and so we said, let's do it. And Disney was like, you sure? You want to leave? I was like, yeah, no, I do. So it worked out.
And then Telly, you jumped in. I mean, I saw you in that beautiful production of Godspell, which is
thank you.
Stunning. And then what was it like for you to take over and be a part of this juggernaut?
I was very thankful Adam decided to go on the road, because then I had a job. So for me, I was like, great. The thing was, I it's a wild story, but I didn't even know I was auditioning for the show when I was auditioning for it, because they were seeing Aladdins for the tour. They had told all of these people, hey, come do we're seeing Aladdins for the tour, but we can never get Casey Nicola and Tom Schumacher in the same room. So we know you're doing In Transit on Broadway. We know you're not free to do this show, but just come and audition anyway. And our dear Courtney Reed was actually at my audition, and I'm going, oh, how lovely that Courtney's here to read with me. Here I am going, okay, well, I'm here to audition for all these other tour Aladdins who are auditioning for the tour, but I'm just here to read, right? And nobody knew, they didn't tell anybody that Adam was going on the road, which was very sneaky. That we were also
very
auditioning.
They're
very
sneaky. Yeah.
Amazing.
We should try to get James on here I'm sorry. Somebody.
That's okay.
I smell a Tony Award somewhere.
He may be here.
He might be here.
You big neighbor, you ain't never had a friend, never had a friend.
James is here.
How you guys doing?
What's up?
James, thanks for being here.
Oh, please,
look at this.
My pleasure.
Great.
Hey, baby. That's why it was so funny, because Telly said, old Aladdin. I was like, old Aladdin, old genius.
Well, I apologize. Bad hosting etiquette. I literally just saw the private chat message that Telly posted and said James has to leave at 7:25. So I apologize.
I wanted to be here to say hello. Also, a reunion, see my boys. What's cool is that Adam and I literally did this whole journey together from start to finish.
Wow.
The first reading I wasn't in, but after that it was just, partners in crime. And then I left, and then they brought Telly in. And it's so funny because Adam and I knew that they were thinking of Telly.
Wow.
But Telly didn't, and we couldn't say
Telly
it.
didn't know.
We went in the same circles. Like, oh, how you doing? How did it go? He's like, oh, it went well. I'm like, good.
Nope.
Well, congratulations on the well-deserved Tony Award. And I did not see Aladdin on Broadway, but I did have the pleasure of seeing you in Hamilton, and you are incredible, so incredible.
And Freestyle Love Supreme, I saw you in that too.
Thank you very much.
James, you are a pleasure, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. So
how are you doing in this pandemic?
I am doing well. I spend a lot of time in my closet. I have a microphone in there, and my wife. The fun joke is, James, please come out of the closet. No, I'm working. Come out of the closet. No, can't. Give me a couple more hours, still in the closet. So all of my friends are having a wonderful time with that. So I've been doing a couple of voiceovers. Vampirina is coming out on Disney Junior.
Awesome.
Nice.
I get to be a part of one of my favorite shows as a kid. DuckTales comes out October 19th.
Oh, you're DuckTales?
Yes.
So I get to do that. And I've got to do some really, really fun things, and I got something special coming up. I can't really talk about it, but just, check out the social media. Something smooth is coming out by the end of October, so it should be cool. But I just wanted to tell these two gentlemen, Telly has been the most professional brother since the day I met him. He is awesome. He is, every time he opens his mouth, it's just nothing but golden, and nothing in my career would have happened without Jacobs in the corner. Jacobs is the man. It was he and I the whole time. And Tony aside, the show's called Aladdin, and it wouldn't have been as popular if that brother wasn't singing that song. And whenever, and this is a thing, whenever he sang "Proud of You, Boy," we always knew Casey was in the house because he cries really loud. And we could just hear in the back, and we were like, yes. And it was wonderful. It was just cool for Adam. When Adam says it was a journey, it was like every time we would make a move, there'd be somebody from Disney around looking and doing things, and he and I would talk to each other. There was this one time we actually thought, is this really going to Broadway? And we were like, look, let's just hold tight and be cool. And it worked. But I just wanted to come on because that man is ridiculously awesome. So I had to come on.
Aww.
I love you, James.
Love you
Beautiful.
too,
Thank you for visiting us.
James, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, I got to look at that private chat thing. You want to hear a funny story? Speaking of the private chat, so we like to have surprises on our show. And so I had Laura Bell Bundy on, and I wasn't sure who to invite. We weren't going to do it as a show reunion or anything. She had a new CD coming out and a new music video. And anyway, so I reached out to Jerry Mitchell and Mark Shaman to see if they would, surprise her. And if they adore her, of course they would. And I texted our technical director who, got us started. And now we operate everything on the back end, but he started it all. And I said, when you're backstage as a guest, can you see who else is backstage? And he said, no. So I was like, perfect. So I had Laura Bell, I had Mark, I had Jerry all backstage. I knew Laura Bell wasn't going to be able to join us for the sound check because she was doing something right before our show. So I sound checked Mark and Jerry, and they're backstage, and then the show starts. And I then look at the private chat. Now, when we started the show, we pulled together a sizzle reel of Laura's career, starting with Ruthless and before. I mean, and she was hysterical. And so she typed in the private chat to Robert and I, "What?" To which Mark Shaman replied, "Was that meant for me? Because if it was, these guys need to learn how to keep a secret better." So he gave away the fact that and
all right,
I didn't see any of that until after the show. I didn't see any of that conversation. But anyway, then we found out, no, you can't see each other, but be careful what you chat about.
That's right.
You guys have had, your storied Broadway career. What do you think about the future of theater during this time, now that you've been home and you've been thinking about live music? And what are your thoughts about how things and your wishes and hopes as we go forward through this crazy time?
I wish I had more wishes in this thing.
I get that.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's tough. I mean, it's unprecedented. We've never taken a hit like this.
Yeah.
And I'm worried. I don't know if we can fully recover. I know we will recover, but I don't know if we'll ever really get back to what it was, and that scares me a little bit.
Sure.
But we're resilient. Actors have always been that way, and we'll bounce back. A lot of them may have already moved on to other careers, unfortunately, and a lot of the theaters, especially in Chicago, maybe 50% are closing, and so it's just going to open it up to new artists and new people to sort of fill that gap. And so the good thing is there's a lot of programs, a lot of musical theater kids nowadays. Even from when I started, there's probably 100 times more programs and young aspiring theater people who want to participate, and so I know they're going to have a lot of opportunities once everything opens up again. But I don't know. What do you think, Telly?
I think it's interesting because it is the ambiguity of it all is actually very frightening because we don't know what's to come and when it's going to come and when it'll open. For me also, but I think in that there is also great possibility for sort of thinking of a new way to do it, right? Like there was something to be said for the fact that Broadway tickets have gotten so astronomically expensive. I grew up in New York City, but like I could always save up my allowance money and to go to the TKTS booth and see a show. They had $15 tickets for the back row of the Imperial to go see Les Mis when I was a kid, or like the back row of Cats or the back row of Phantom. So somehow there was some method for theater to be affordable and accessible to everyone. And, there was a phenomenon even on Broadway where shows were getting more and more expensive. Ticket prices were getting more and more expensive. Now that we're sort of at a stop and we have to sort of re-figure out what that business model is to get people back to the theater. And that means not just how much people are paying to come to the theater, but also who's coming to the theater. Because for so long, New York has depended on a tourist audience. Our show too. Right. Our show very much was this great. I felt like our show was the best show. If you were coming to America for the first time, you came to New York City and you wanted to see your first Broadway show, I was like, go see Aladdin. Not just because we were in it, but like when you think Broadway, you think big costumes and tap dance and orchestra pit and curtain and do you know what I mean? And so but also I also feel like it might be a chance for there to be other new works that happen that get showcased, now that we're starting over, so I don't know. I'm scared, but also cautiously waiting for what's next and open to whatever that is,
Yeah.
Well, I will say I really hope that the best is yet to come, and I know that New York without Broadway is not New York, and art. No. And speaking of seeing Aladdin, like what I loved about seeing Aladdin, seeing it when it first opened was the magic of Aladdin. So talking about Telly saying like, see a Broadway show, like this is literally the movie come to life. The amount of magic and the cast and everything, the spectacle that truly was that. I can only imagine the work and the time that it took to learn the blocking and how to be in that show. The moving people story.
I remember, first of all, Adam created something that was so awesome and but also quite daunting to step into. It's a massive role, my friend. And there's sometimes I'd be like, oh, Adam Jacobs, what did you do? Why did you do this 8 times a week? Like now everybody has to step into this. But they gave me 3.5 weeks to learn the show, and I was like, wow. I was like, I've done the Muni. I've done a show in 10 days. I've done summer stock. 3.5 weeks. What am I going to do? I used every minute of my 3.5 weeks. And I would say the third week or so, they go, just stop acting. We actually just have to walk you around the stage. And don't act. Just like walk around and don't die. But literally, like that was what they were like. You can't be there. That's a trap. That's gonna come down. You're gonna die. Like there's an elevator there. You're gonna so like the carpet. You have to get on the thing. You have to be safe and so I was like, oh God. It was like, so yeah,
it's a lot of technical stuff.
It's a lot of technical stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Adam,
but he had to figure it out. Like that was the crazy part. Like you actually had to be there and like figure it out for all of us.
I'm sure they were figuring it out too at the same time.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You know?
And there were times when those buildings would not want to come together, and I had to, jump from one when I shouldn't have, but I still did, and or when we were trying to figure out Aladdin's entrance and all the different, being rolled up in a rug. I did the rug thing that the girls did.
Right.
I swung in on a laundry line a la Simba, and they didn't like that. They said, about that. So many different versions, but and at one point I was juggling, which would have made the role even more difficult, because to try and cast somebody who can also juggle, and we cut that. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
You want the weakest thing? Good luck.
at the end of one jump, what he's talking, there's a moment that the technicians call the lineup, where all these buildings are on tracks and they all get into a line, and it's Aladdin has to like run up the building and go across each building to then jump off the back of one, the center one. There are nights that the buildings would not get into a line, so you would be stuck up there, and then you would have to go, I actually can't get to and then you would have to tell the guard to back up, and you would have to go back down the ladder, or there were moments where sometimes there were moments where I would jump off a building, go in between a building, and then I would feel them start to move again. And so there was actually one time where I was like, oh, almost died on a Broadway stage.
Almost got crushed. Yeah.
Yeah, there it goes.
Wow.
Sure.
Adam, how your family has quite a history with this show.
Yes. My sister, if that's what you're referring to.
That was a segue. That was a segue in the business. That's what we call it.
Yes. So my sister was able to play the role of Jasmine first in the Australian production, and then also opposite Telly on Broadway.
Yeah.
We never did it together because that would be weird. But I'll let you do what you want to do here.
Well, big surprise! Big surprise! She's here.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow, that was so amazing. I didn't know you were going to do that. I loved it. Hi.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
This little Aladdin and Jasmine couple down here.
Hi, Telly.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Good to see
And the
you too.
Jacobs family.
Yeah.
What's up,
The
Sis?
Jacobses. What's up, bro? What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good.
So nice. Thank you for being here.
Are you in New York, Arielle?
I am in New York. I just got back here last week. Yes, I left New York right after Broadway shut down. So we've been gone for 6 months and just got back.
And where did you go?
My husband, I just got married right before the shutdown.
Husband.
My husband.
Hey.
We went down to his family's place in Miami. So we were down in Miami for 6 months. We were very lucky because they have a guest house that is pretty much empty all of the year unless family comes to visit. So we had a place to go hide out and quarantine and just, spend time out in the sunshine, which was lovely. And now we're back and waiting for everything to open up, but who knows when that's going to happen.
Well, aside from being in Jasmine and Hamilton and tons of credits, you
Hamilton, no. In the Heights, yes.
I'm in the Heights.
Yes.
One of those shows. I'm sorry. Well, we confused my Lin-Manuel show. If you also are quite the activist, and you have done a bunch of work.
Well, I started when I was doing High School Musical, which my first big show was High School Musical, also Disney. And when I was on tour with that show, I had a really hard time traveling around the country, figuring out where to recycle. And I grew up, when I grew up, I was like thinking I might go into environmental activism as a career. So it really hurt. And there was a time when I was talking to a stagehand, and I was trying to figure out, where to recycle the water bottles. And I tried to make it a point where every theater we went to, I was like, can we just not have the plastic cups at the water bottles? Because it's so much plastic waste. What about those like cone-shaped paper Dixie cup things that you just throw away? And this guy got so mad at me. I couldn't believe it. And he basically, told me that they need to think about other stuff, and, they can't waste their time with that. And I was surprised at how many cities around the country had no recycling even available. Like, all the people who lived in these cities, they couldn't recycle if they wanted to. So at the time, I thought there's something I need to be able to do something. And I started this website. At the time, I created this website called Help Heal the Earth. And I made these little stickers that said, "We're all in this together," which was the motto of High School Musical. And I would hand them out to the little kids at the stage doors, because I thought, if those kids think that I think it's cool, then maybe they're going to think it's cool. And I can influence them because they look up to me, even if the adults in their cities don't think it's a big deal. So that was my first foyer. Is that the right word? Foyer into activism. And
Foray.
and then foray. Oh, foray. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the foyer is like the entryway to your house.
That would be correct.
I bought it, Arielle.
But we knew what you meant. We knew what you meant.
Thank you.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, and then after that, I started this other nonprofit called the Girls Camaraderie Project, and me and my friend Lexi Lawson, who is from Hamilton, she and I met doing In the Heights on tour. Yes, and so she and I started this Girls Camaraderie Project where we would go into middle schools to have workshops with girls, teaching them that it's cool to trust each other and to create camaraderie instead of competition amongst middle school girls.
Wow.
That's amazing. I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do. My goodness. You really.
Well, it's only Thursday.
It's only Thursday.
It's amazing. I was reading about it, and it was really inspiring and beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it was pretty magical.
Tonight is like sort of like an embarrassment of riches, because we have so many Aladdin alumni that are popping on to be with us, and I just want to bring on one more because the screen's almost full.
At least some good will come from me being forced to marry. When I'm queen, I will have the power to get rid of you. When I am queen, I will have the power to get rid of you.
Girls get so moody over the smallest things. Chip nails, bad hair, people murdering their boyfriend.
Done!
Subtlety.
How are you? Thanks for
You're muted, Don.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Am I here now?
Now you're
Sorry,
good.
am I here? Okay, good. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you.
Yay.
I think he's frozen.
Well, if he's gonna be frozen, that's the perfect face.
That's a perfect.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
great.
I can't even believe I just said that. But while he unfreezes himself, we have another visitor that just showed up.
He's not even frozen. He's faking it. He's faking it. He's just, that's something he.
His personality flaws give me adequate cause to send him packing on a one-way trip. His prospects take a terminal dip. His assets frozen, the venue chosen, the end of the world. So long, ex-prince, I'll
Bye-bye.
Yay!
That was horrifying.
Hello.
Who's that fat old man?
Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Don. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you guys for being here.
Wow. This is an abundant group. I love it.
This is so fun.
Where are we?
Jonathan, your voice, that is, talk about iconic. Iconic in the movie, iconic on the show. We know that voice anywhere. So thank you for being here.
Oh, sure. Took me a while to figure out how to be here.
You did it. You did it.
And you two, Don and Jonathan together, your chemistry and what you built together in that show. Don, your scenes feelingly funny. You two are absolutely brilliant together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's all this way.
How are you both?
Yes, you were.
Where are you both quarantining? Are you in New York?
No, right now I'm in Long Island, but I have to go to New York on Monday. DDR, are you at your house?
I'm at my house in New Jersey.
Like, hey, Jersey.
Yeah.
Robert's in New Jersey.
Nice.
Ariel, where are you?
I'm in Long Island City,
Telly.
which everyone thinks is in Long Island, but it's New York City.
I'm still in Midtown, 2 blocks from the New Amsterdam Theater. I'm still there. Still here.
Wow.
It's strange over there.
It is strange.
Wow.
Adam, are you in Chicago?
I am. I'm out here in Chicago holding down the fort.
And are you on your computer?
I am. Yeah, I'm using my iMac. Yeah, my computer. Oh, thank you.
I'm
Nice to
holding
you.
up my arm, holding up my phone.
No, you all look pretty fantastic.
Adam, you started. I read online, Adam, that you started this almost like a summer program for kids, like a backyard Broadway or something.
Yeah,
you and your wife would choreograph a number, and
it looks so amazing.
It does look amazing.
Yeah, we felt like we had to do something. I mean, there was no programs for all these kids. So a lot of them didn't get to do their shows. They all shut down. Their spring musicals, a lot of them had.
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
Oh,
and we already did that show.
We did the reunion.
He'll come back.
He'll be back.
Jonathan, when you did the voice of Jafar, bringing that to the stage, what was the process of being a voiceover actor for it to then actually embodying the character on stage?
Well, I wasn't really sure that I ought to be doing it, to be honest, at the beginning. And Casey said, "You really have to do this." So I was just afraid that I would be, I was going to be in a room with people who had all new ideas, new voices, new everything, and I thought that I don't know. I didn't think that after such a long time I could actually figure out enough ways to reinvent the character that would be suitable.
Well,
that would work out with a room full of all new ideas. Turned out to all right, but it was not. I just didn't know.
Well, it turned out more than all right. It was pretty fantastic. And Don, I'm sure you never planned to play a parrot. So how was the process of taking over that iconic character?
Well, in the rehearsal process, I was 100% ready to put a parrot onto my arm.
Yes.
It never happened, which I'm also thankful for. Oh yeah, see. But they gave me a lot of license to kind of play within the spirit of Iago from the film that Gilbert Gottfried so elegantly drilled into our brains. So they gave me a lot of license. But as we went from the Seattle production to the pre-Broadway tryout, actually 2 weeks after we were open, we went back into the rehearsal room. They gave me a new script. They said, "Okay, we have about 4 hours. Let's try something new." And so I said, "Great, let's do it." So we took 4 hours to rehearse, and that evening I tried a brand new Iago that was much closer to what you see now on stage. I had secret scripts on either side of the stage. I was panicking the entire time, but we did it. I made a big, bold choice, and we went for it.
Wow.
And of course, Mr. Freeman over here he's a Moroccan savior.
Oh yeah, Moroccan. When he walked on stage, I almost.
That's amazing.
Shorty trying
I know
to-
we never get to hear these elements, so that's so fantastic. Arielle, I have a question for you. Obviously, when Adam opened in the show, I'm sure you went to see it. Did you think that at some point this would be part of your acting path when you first saw it?
I've always dreamed of being a Disney princess. And then, so when I saw the show, I thought, oh my gosh, how I would love to play that character. I did not ever expect to be given the opportunity to do it in Australia, because that was also a dream of mine. I've always wanted to go there. So when that was an opportunity, I was so shocked. But yeah, I wanted to do it. I wanted to be in the show, and then I was just like waiting for when that might happen, because I know Adam and I couldn't do it together.
Then you have to do it with Telly.
I know we had a good time.
We had a great time.
I have to say what I admire about the bottom row of actors there that I got to do the show with is that it is the most consistent group of actors, dependable, consistent, like a rock. Like seriously, like you would show up 8 times a week and the most dependable, wonderful people on and off stage. So it was just when it's like that, it's just fun. It's great because you're just like, I have nothing to really worry about when the 3 of them are there, So it was truly fun because the show, yes, that what James said earlier, the show's called Aladdin, but seriously, like it's like having those 3 down there, pretty incredible. So
I tried to get Telly to break over 1,000 times, not once. I'm a naughty boy on stage sometimes. I tried to get him to break almost every night and would not budge.
He wouldn't. He's so consistent.
And Jonathan and Don Darryl. I mean, that's like a comedy masterclass. They didn't miss one laugh, so it was great.
Yeah, if Don Darryl wasn't there, to be honest, I felt like I stank up the place.
You guys, you're such a great pair together. You were so great together.
It's hard to do without DDR. I mean, I liked everybody, at the theater. It wasn't that, but I don't know. I feel like once we left Seattle, that I was completely dependent on.
We made something special in Seattle. I think.
Work.
We bonded with the cupcakes.
I miss Telly and I miss Adam though.
Aw, miss you
I
too.
haven't seen you guys in a long time. Adam, I haven't seen you in a really long time.
I know. It's crazy.
He kicked us to the curb. He was like, "I'm going on the road."
Well, Adam has this new program called Backyard Broadway, and you can sign up for it, and he and his wife will choreograph you into a musical comedy number.
There you go.
Try.
I love that Adam went on the road because that's old school. That's what they used to do back in the day, right? Like, he's like, I made this role. I'm gonna go on the road. I'm gonna tour the country. That's.
Yeah, they used to do that first, and then
You also had such amazing sit downs. What was it, like 7 weeks or 7 months in Chicago, and then how many months in LA? It was so great. Your schedule was awesome.
3 months in LA.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 10 weeks in San Francisco where we grew up, and you couldn't beat that.
Is that what made you decide to move to Chicago because you got to spend so much time there?
Kelly and I had talked about Chicago for many, many years.
Okay.
Because her family's in Wisconsin, and Chicago is obviously the biggest theater city close to that, and so we knew this was the plan. As soon as the boys were born, we kind of had it in the back of our mind that we would be coming out here.
Adam, did you tell them when your boys were born?
They were born first day of rehearsal for Aladdin on Broadway. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Twins.
That's
The producers were like, "Oh shit."
Wow. That is crazy.
When we were planning the show, I watched the documentary on Disney Plus on Howard Ashman and how he wrote the lyrics to this.
Yeah, beautiful. Wasn't that beautiful?
The documentary is gorgeous, and his genius and the poetry in the words of these songs are absolutely timeless. So it really got me set up and sentimental to think about this show with you guys, but also going back to the movie and then seeing the show. So if you have a moment to watch it at home, watch it. It's beautiful.
It's really good. Yeah.
Well, you haven't had an almost ruined career until you've had to make your entrance after one of those guys sings "Prodigal Boy." I would literally like look at the floor and look around and think about other stuff until the last second. Was not helpful.
No. Adam and Telly's version, there's not a dry eye in the house, I'm sure, when either of them have sung that song. They're both stunning.
Yeah.
It also
in the house.
Yeah. It's a beautiful, that New Amsterdam theater, there's so much history in that theater, of course, for like the theater geeks like me, like that's where the Ziegfeld Follies were, so like the ghosts of all the showgirls and all, the Fanny Bryce and the Bob Hope and all the people that have been on that stage. And so, you're singing that song at a beautiful theater. Now, I don't know about you, Adam, but like I put my mom up in the first row of the balcony every night. Like that's just how I, that was the way to do it. It was like, I sort of had my mom up there every night with me and I would just sing it to her, but it was just the history of that place. It makes, it's helpful for that song, and it's like a classic Broadway moment to get a moment on stage to sing a song all by yourself.
Yeah, it's very special. Go ahead.
It also helps the way that the theater is laid out. I always used the lights in the aisles and all the way up in the balconies always looked like stars, so that when we were doing A Whole New World on the carpet, it actually felt like we were flying through the space.
It's true.
That will forever be the big unanswered question. I have no idea how you guys did that in that show.
They're not going to tell you.
No, I'm scared of the mouse too. I'm not going to.
Right?
I'm not pissing
That's
him
right.
off.
Yeah, because they signed an NDA and they're sticking to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
I will say magic.
That was Mickey Mouse.
Magic.
Mickey Mouse.
Absolutely. It's Disney magic. Disney magic.
Wow.
In Toronto, the very first time the carpet flew, Casey had his God mic in front of him, and it flew, and it was the most beautiful thing, and he was just like full on sobbing right into the microphone. It was really a magic. I've still never seen anything that beautiful on stage in a really, really,
wow.
really long time.
Yeah, the first time that they did it in Toronto, I busted into tears. An old hooker like me. Hooker like me. Really?
Did they have the planets with the planets or without the planets?
They like reached up and grabbed me by the throat.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
But again, like in the spirit of like classic old school theater, for the folks that know the trick, it's an old theater trick. It's based in something that is old school, and like the illusion is actually something that has history to it too. And so I sort of love that about it every night, that I was like, oh yeah, like this is old theater magic that they've of course tricked out with technology, but like it's actually like pretty great. You're like, oh yeah, I love that,
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was quite a moment.
Wow.
So it's quite a moment.
It's an old magician's trick, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's all you're getting.
Wow.
That's all you're getting.
No more.
That's it.
I'm not getting banned from Magic Kingdom. I'm not getting in trouble.
I know. I want to, first of all, I want to thank Adam and Telly for helping to create the show and inviting all of their friends. It was so nice to meet you all. I usually know like everybody that's on the show. This was so lovely. And I just wish that you stay safe and healthy. And I literally am counting the days till I can see you all on stage again, because that's what we need,
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Love you guys. So good to see you.
Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
everybody. Good evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And Telly and Adam, their albums are out streaming now. Go
They
go
are.
listen
You
to
can get them on where all fine music is sold and streamed.
Yes,
right?
please, absolutely. Stream. They're gorgeous. Gorgeous.
They are. They are. So thank you all for watching week 26. Crazy.
26 weeks.
Next week for week 27, we are very excited. We have the two incredible composers of the hit London smash musical Six, the musical, which was just in previews on Broadway when everything shut down, but it will be back. It's a musical about the six wives of Henry VIII who reunite as a girl pop group, and it is fantastically fun. I saw it in London. I'm obsessed with it. And so they are going to be on. Plus, we have Megan Hilty, one of our favorite Broadway stars, and her very talented husband, Brian Gallagher, who's an incredible songwriter, singer, guitar player. They're going to be with us.
Lee, did we surprise the people tonight?
Okay, literally, all we had confirmed were Adam and Telly, and we were trying to get other cast members, but nobody committed. And 30 minutes before the show, Adam texted me and he said, James is going to pop in and Arielle's going to pop in. And it was just like, and then the other two, and I was like, oh my God. So
my Disney friends and family who are like Disney freaks, the voice of Jafar, like the real voice, he was just here. Tony winner James was here.
Crazy. Crazy. I love it.
He's coming on our show. And meanwhile,
who knows? Clearly we don't know.
No.
Well, thank you all for watching. We love it. We'll see you next week. If you want to donate to the tip jar to help us pay the rent on this show, there's the information below. And is there anything else? Have we left? I don't think so. Love Thursdays.
I love Thursdays. I can't wait to see you guys next week, and we'll be here. We're not going anywhere.
Great. It's going to be good.
Guys.
Have a great night.
Good night,
Bye, Robert.
Thank you, Lee.